morning, this is Bill Fitzgerald from FSOT Prep. I also have a website at foreignserviceexam.org, and you'll find additional information there. Today I'm going to talk about the first essay that you face in the FSOT exam process, and that's the essay on the computer-based exam that you begin with, including substantive knowledge as well as English expression, and then you're into the essay portion. Let me just go over a little bit again how important the written word is in the State Department. It is the lingua franca of the State Department. I can't underline how important it is. If you're in the department, for instance, you're going to be preparing a lot of written products, including action memos where your principals will be making a decision on a course of action. There'll be info memos to keep, again, your principals aware of situation, crises that are going on around the world. They'll also be receiving briefing memos, basically giving them talking points in meetings with foreign ministers, other agency heads around town, meetings at the Deputies Committee or the Principals Committee at the White House. You'll be writing reports for the Assistant Secretary, the Undersecretaries, the Deputy Secretary, and even the Secretary of State. So it's no small matter. The decisions at the State Department are made through action memos. It's very rare for a decision to be made through a PowerPoint presentation or an oral briefing. Again, I've said this before, the better you write, the faster you will be promoted. Now overseas, you'll also be writing a lot. You'll be doing spot reports, analysis of a certain situation in your host country, political situation, labor situation, crime situation, you name it. The ambassador will probably be doing a number of tour d'horizon, basically giving the lay of the land, the situation in your host country. But there are also required reports mandated by Congress. These are annual reports like the Human Rights Report or the Religious Freedom Report. The Econ and Commercial also will be completing reports, typically on a biannual basis, about the business climate in your host country, or the report which is named Doing Business in Botswana or the Ukraine or Australia, which are very important for the business community, the U.S. business community, when they come overseas to your host country and do business. You know, for good or bad, our reports have gotten shorter over the years. Back in 1946, 1947, before the advent of email and even telephone service out of the former, George Kennan was the charge d'affaires in 46 and 47 in the embassy in Moscow. Now, he wrote an 8,000 word, 32-page memo on what he saw as the U.S. Policy in the post-World War II era towards the Soviet Union. Of course, that was the containment memo. It was the containment cable that he sent back to the department that ushered in what in effect was the Cold War for the next, you name it, 50 years? A little bit less. 1990 to 46, yeah, about 54 years. Okay, let's get to the essay itself. This is FSOT Part 1, your essay. You'll be given two topics, you pick one, and you argue in favor of the topic or against the topic. I'm highlighting one of the questions that is on the practice test. Take a look at it. You may even want to work with it when you start practicing your writing. Again, you have 25 minutes on the first part of the test and a limit of 2,800 characters. If you don't pass, remember, if you don't pass the substantive knowledge or the English expression test, your essay will not be graded. Okay, how would I prepare for the essay? Skip the bureaucracies and academies. Even if you're straight out of college, you've got to learn how to write clearly, succinctly, like a reporter, basically. You want to make it snappy, you want to make it interesting, you don't want excess words. Go back to Strunk and White in Elements of Style. Omit needless words, absolutely. Skip the adverbs. Really write like a reporter. And you pick that up from the New York Times. The important thing about this essay is that the examiners don't care which side of the topic you're on. They want your rationale, and they want basically your analysis of the situation, providing examples by which you can explain why you're supporting one side of the topic and not the other. I would suggest starting writing practice right now. Maybe every other day, use this example or pull one out of the New York Times or the Washington Post or The Economist to come up with topics. How to practice, how to prepare. Practice. That means write. It's absolutely absolutely critical that you provide, that you are prepared for this. Writing is a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. Meaning you'll have a richer vocabulary, you'll write faster, and you'll write clearer, I hope. I would also approach it in the way of the 5-paragraph essay that you all faced in middle school or high school. That is, when you take the topic, you're arguing on one side, you fill out the first paragraph include your thesis statement, why you are studying that, why you support that part of the argument. And then the second through fourth paragraphs, as you recall, you provide examples supporting your position, supporting your rationale. Now, with 2 pages, you're going to have more meat and potatoes, what I like to call meat and potatoes paragraphs with examples. And you may even want to look back at the other side of the argument and put in a paragraph or two where you debunk their arguments, where you at least address them and you put them to rest. And then finally, in the last paragraph that you have, you want to restate your thesis statement, and then you want to tie it all up with your last sentence where you reinforce why you chose the side that you did, and you complete with a sentence that's clear and compelling. It's very important. Writing is critical. This part of the test is not easy. I get a lot of emails from folks, messages on my website that they didn't have enough time to finish the first essay. Again, it's 25 minutes and 2 pages, so you really have to be Johnny on the spot. I would also add that there's an important part of the essay which you can prepare for now, and those are the transitions between paragraphs. And I would recommend stuff like, as experts say, ... And then the next paragraph you say, but concerned countries also report ... I'll lay out some of these transitions between paragraphs ahead of time. There was a study, the Rand Corporation completed a study that showed ... supporting your argument. Again, these are transitions to help you get from paragraph to paragraph. In the end of the day, the examiners are not looking at the position you've taken, but more how the analysis that you put into it, the examples that you use to provide support. They want a coherent, logical essay. At the same time, they're also looking at the mechanics of your essay. They're looking at grammar, syntax, logic, punctuation, and spelling. I mean, basic mechanics of an essay. So, good luck. I'll I'll reproduce these slides on my website at foreignserviceexam.org. If you like this essay, share it with people. If you like these essays, and I'll be completing more, probably on are you too old to join the Foreign Service, and also on the oral assessment, please subscribe. Again, Bill Fitzgerald from FSOT Prep. Good luck.